course. Overpass. It's 4 for 4 at Ascot. Wins another Winterbottom.
Today's inside running for Morley Mitsubishi, the home of the Mitsubishi Triton. Drive away the 4x2 Triton for $33,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Fine and sunny, top of 22 we're looking at today. Bit of smoke haze this morning and some light winds becoming southwesterly by middle of the day and then tending southerly later on in the evening. Time for Inside Running as we return to Ascot, and welcome to the team, Darren McAullay. Good morning.
A team with a little bit of extra spring in their step too, getting along to the preview this morning. Thanks, Matty. Good morning to you. Nice to see you once again, and to our listeners, thank you for joining us for this edition of Inside Running. It's a huge return back to Ascot, 10 races on the card, and a really challenging afternoon trying to find a few winners. The highlight, of course, coming a little bit later on with the running of the Unite Resourcing Max Simmonds Stakes. Pulls together a very good field of 3-year-olds, some stars of our top 2-year-old ranks in last season of racing. We're going to open the day with the Valet Lindsay Severn Plate. There will be a minute's silence in the bookmakers' ring for Lindsay, one of the last of the great iconic bookmakers here. We sadly lost Lindsay just a few weeks ago. Much has been said, and there will be more added to that, I'm sure, in the short amount of time later this morning when we do celebrate the life, the memory of Lindsay Severn. So trust that everyone who had a connection with Lindsay, whether they've been bookmaking colleagues, whether they've been punting clients or general friends in racing, can make it along there and spend a few moments to reflect on the life of Lindsay, who certainly did add a lot to what was a very colourful bookmakers' ring, the Colosseum of the bookmakers as it once was. So much racing to look forward to today, a lot to discuss as we start to dig deep into the spring. But in Melbourne, of course, today at Caulfield from 9:15, we're covering the Group 1 Toorak, the Caulfield Guineas, the Might and Power, the Group 2 Herbert Power and the Scalacci. Up at Rose Hill in New South Wales in Sydney, the Roman Console, the Hill Stakes, the Gloaming, and of course back here at home from 1:32 today, the Leonora Cup Day card will get underway. So that's our coverage today. It certainly spreads near and far, and tomorrow, good luck to the Geraldton Turf Club with the Ladies' Day sprint card, 7 events on the program. We've been very eager to get back to Ascot. Ascot looks an absolute treat. We were there earlier this week for a photo shoot, a promotional shoot there. Got to say, Digby and Scotty, as we welcome you here to the panel once again, fellas, that Ascot manager Matty Cork has done a fantastic job, and there's a lot to look forward to out at Ascot.
Morning, boys. Going through historical data, there's been lanes at Ascot for years, but last year was probably the fairest it's been, and as you say, out there during the weekend, it looked magnificent. Absolutely
there too, and of course for the female jockeys in this state, they've got a new facility out there. It's been a long, long time coming, and deservedly so, but a brand new female jockeys facility out there as well. It looks absolutely top class, Diggs.
Certainly does, Darren. Looking forward to getting our teeth into this preview, because this is a really big day. 10 races on the day, and that's going to be a staple for the season at Ascot.
There's going to be a starting point for a number of these. I'm just wondering how many are really screwed down here for the opening meeting, given the fact that they've got so much racing ahead and bigger fish to fry later on down the track. So how do we, I guess, approach this card? Is it with an air of caution, maybe a sense of not really knowing where horses are at their particular stage of preparations? And is it one of those sort of half wait and see type of meetings to see where it'll take us over the next month or more?
No, if you like one, send it. Simple.
Pin them back.
Absolutely. Why not?
Fair enough. There's been a few that they've backed. Matt McDermott's going to touch upon those.
I think there's been a renewed interest in the early markets, Scott. We had a good chat to Brad McManus on Thursday morning, and I think everyone's keen, clearly, not only the participants, but the punters that like to bet into Ascot as well. You know what you're going to get. Rail true, good pad, and there's enough data to suggest if you're thinking which way the track's playing, you've got a copybook with which to work with.
Enough said. It's 11 minutes past 8. There's 10 races. Let's bounce them all.
100%.
Perth weather. Do we get a weather update at all from you, Maestro?
Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. How did it look?
It's good.
Fantastic. All right, changes for the meeting. Let's get to those first and foremost. Race 1 with a high noon start. A good 4 track and the rail true. The Valet Lindsay Severn plate over 1,000 metres to commence this new card of racing from Ascot, and we see the scratching of number 5, Swan Boy. So it'll be interesting to get the thoughts of both Scott and Diggs in regards to these juveniles. Race 2, the MCA Polytrack Handicap on the program, the second event for the day, and here we have no changes. There's been very good backing for Linchpin. Race number 3 will be the running of the Key Clean Handicap, takeout number 10 in Kerman Rock, race 3, number 10. To race number 4, the Tab Touch Westbeed Platinum Handicap, and down the bottom 17 and 18 aren't required, a lot of Dazzle and Wrexham. On to the 5th event, the Mrs. Max Handicap, that is clear. To race number 6 on the card, the Pinnacles Carnival Noms Close 13th of October Handicap. They'll run this at 1400, no changes. Race number 7, the A1 Engineering Handicap over 1,800 metres and a field of 16 big fields through the course of the day. Another capacity lineup there. Race 8, the Unite Resourcing Max Simmonds Stakes. And here we've got a full list of 11 there with quality right the way through it. And then to race 9, the Swan Draft Handicap, which is run over the 1,400 metres. Number 8 is Out Investment Strategy, not running here. So down to 12 there in the third leg of the quaddie. The final leg is the Reliable Asset Maintenance Handicap, and here a field of 16 for fun just to round out the day of racing at 5:47. Those are the changes. At around 8:30 this morning, we'll be going out to Morley Mitsubishi. They've got some specials as well there, both in the yard and for our listeners today, they're avid race goers there, and we're going to be looking forward to catching up with Brad out there a little bit later on this morning. Brad Short at about 8:30 as well. So great to have Morley Mitsubishi on board with their Triton as well. Okay, let's fill up the truck, the Triton, and see if we can't get some markets going there for Tab Touch here. Matty?
All right, the first of the day at midday, all on red, is at $7. From 8, we go to Firearm, who's $2.60 to $3.30. Sovereign Rock, $6.50 into 5. Down to Texan Dream, $6.50 into $3.70. And those not mentioned are better than 11.
All right, well, Diggs, you're more the 2-year-old guy than Scotty, in more instances than not. A field of 9 to go in the first 2-year-old race of the new season, and 4 of the 9 prepared by the 1 yard, that of Ryan Hill, who has historically made a little thing of this by having so many representatives. But is there one that has stood out there in the trials that's attracted your attention?
Oh, there's a few. There's some really good pace engaged in this, as you'd expect. 2-year-olds over 1,000 metres. Texan Dream and Swan Boy basically cleared out from their opposition back there on the 30th of September, and they ran time over the 400 metres. 23-24 Texan Dream ran to beat Swan Boy by a head, and then you had to go back a few lengths to the third horse. So you'd expect Texan Dream to jump and run for Chris Parnham. Luke Fernie only has had the 400 metres, but I think also Sovereign Rock, Scott, is very, very fast. And then you've got the horse clearly on debut out of Trevor's Yard, that being Firearm, who sort of loomed up, showed a really good turn of foot until he was basically switched off by Sean O'Donnell. And
then I probably add into the mix all on red because Kilkenny King, even though he didn't make it to the races, was probably the most visually impressive of all of the 2-year-olds that we've seen trial so far. I'm not much of a 2-year-old player normally, but I'm going to have a swing in this.
Are you?
I think Texan Dream deserves to be favourite off the back of what he produced.
What I hear. Yeah, I thought that when you were talking about another horse there being one of the picks of the 2-year-olds you've seen, I thought that Swan Boy might have been in that category as well. He looks exciting, and so does Texan Dream. They came through that same trial. This could be one of the bargain buys of the turf if it can win a few races. I thought the trial was very, very good. From this crop of the Splin Texas, did run second to Swan Boy, not much between them, but the thing about that, in the fact that it was a 400 trial, it was a day back to the other horses getting home behind them. They couldn't even keep up and compete. Now, I'm not quite sure what their ability is, but I'll tell you what, Texan Dream did look sharp.
Well, they went quicker than King's Court, who's a jump and run 3-year-old. So Texan Dream, straight to the front, 2-year-old racing invariably suits those up on pace with the rail to follow. And Luke Fernie won this race last year with Capitola off the same thing. 400-metre jump out, straight to the races, same rider, same stable, same colours, hopefully same result. Texan Dream for me, 6-3 in firearm, never asked for an effort, but also drawn one of the outside barriers, is likely to concede them a head start. You'd imagine they go back with him today.
Well, he was out the back last early on in that trial, wasn't he? The only time we've seen him.
I like the trial of Tigerland. I like the way that he kept coming in behind Kilkenny King and All on Red, so I'm put him in for third, ahead of 4 Sovereign Rock. When Rocky Chung rode him in that trial, he was quicker than anything, but the other 2 400-metre jump outs, he hasn't left quite as well. 6-3, 7-4, straight to the top, Texan Dream. I think he's a bet.
Okay, Tigerland's an interesting type of a colt. He's got a pretty gangly type of action. Maybe it doesn't suit 1,000-metre racing, Diggs, but he certainly can finish off in those trials that we've seen of him.
Yeah, he's been okay. Look, there's a great deal of interest surrounding these babies, and understandably so. I'm with Firearm. I love that trial. It really caught the eye, and I've watched the replay on numerous occasions, and I like what I see. So happy to put Firearm on top from 6. Texan Dream, your likely leader. 4 Sovereign Rock, and 1 All on Red with the shades on. Just not entirely sure where Luke Campbell gets aboard this Stoutland colt. 3, 6, 4 and 1.
Okay, well, the money is there for Texan Dream, 650 into 370. Firearms 260 to 330. If you're following any trends in the market, Texan Dream seems to hold the hand there. I'm 6 like you, Scott. I do think that All on Red, whilst it's a very difficult gate there, the blinkers went on. The time was very sharp, 51.21. It was much, much quicker, 9 lengths faster than Firearm. Not that it was Firearm's fault with the time there in that particular race, but it is what it is. I thought it did enough through the trials there for Tiana Noski, All on Red, and 3 Firearm, and include Sovereign Rock, the $80,000 acquisition, who's had the benefit of 3 barrier trials getting here to its race debut. 6, 1, 3 and 4 for me. Matt in the first.
Scott opens up with Texan Dream, number 6, 3, 7, 4. Digby is with 3, Firearm to beat 6, 4, 1. Darren's gone 6, Texan Dream, 1, 3 and 4. The second race at 12.39, the MCA Polytrack Handicap, and it's over 1,600. Now they're all starting. We commence with Cavello Red, who's 11 into 950. Audio Boy, 950 to 9. Back, start again, 9 to 950, back to 9, down to Wembanyama, who is 5 into 480. Battle Commander, 12 into 9, down to Exquisite Taste, who's at 650, inner point. And then at the bottom, Lynchpin, 460 into 310.
He created a bit of an impression on us, this playing guide, 3-year-old Lynchpin. He has been well backed in the market, gentlemen. 460 into 310. 3-year-old upside, lightly raced. Can't wait to see him get over a trip, the way that he races. He's got that style, that shape about him. So everything that he's done so far this campaign has been good. He won his barrier trial. He beat a horse who came out and won a maiden first up through it, and then it was a terrific performance right off the track. He got a bit of cover, but he travelled into it easily. He was awfully deep on the turn, and then he held a subsequent winner, I thought, easily at bay. Look, he's much, much better drawn this afternoon. Lynchpin, can he go on with it from here, Diggs?
Well, the market says he can, absolutely. It's been a good winning-producing race, that one he came out of, Scott, as well.
Hoya Destroyer wins Wednesday, Authoritative wins Thursday.
Miss Verve,
Vexatious Rose ran a tiki.
Well, yep, exactly. I think Brad's given you a push as well, has he not? 54?
Yep. Doesn't do it that often.
No, he does not. That sort of caught the eye straight away when Brad was named on this fellow who clearly, Darren, as you said, has got some upside. The 1,600 he's going to lap up, and the market hasn't missed him.
I like the fact that there's good pace in it too, if you're looking at it from a map point of view, and he's a horse that would seem to me as though he might just relish genuine tempo going, and you've got Frappuccino and Beccalotti and Battle Commander there that are going to make sure that they go. Exquisite Tastes also not devoid of early pace as well, having led its last 2 starts and been very competitive. So just sitting back in behind them, timing his run, and early on in the day I thought that Lynchpin might well be the go here and could be one of the better bets for the early part of the program.
I think he's got a little bit more upside than a lot of his rivals. If you took the 310 about him v the $5 about Wembanyama, they both won one race. Lynchpin won from 1, Wembanyama won from 14. They're probably going to end up in similar spots making their runs together. So I'm definitely team Linchpin off what he produced, not only at that trial, but in the race.
Diggs, Wembanyama gets back but goes to 16, does get the services of W. Pike.
That catches the eye, just as Brad obviously catches the eye riding 54 kilos. It was a strange run, Wembanyama last start. He got his head high. He was a little bit, I wouldn't say rude, but he was a little bit ungenerous. And then he sort of flattened out over the concluding stages and was good to the line, suggesting the 1600, which he has been exposed to on 3 previous occasions, isn't going to be an issue. The figures were good. That was a fast run race. Oh, look, as Scott said, he's only won the one race, but I like the way that he closed off last time. So I've actually gone that way. I have got the 6 on top.
Okay, 6 there with you. Wembanyama. Okay, I'll be 11. Linchpin, Wembanyama, Audio Boy second up, drawn out yet again, but I thought a solid run coming through what was a pretty fast run race behind Climb on Top. There'll be improvement there. Historically, there always is. And dropping back in grade is Romantic Ruler. You know what you're going to get there pretty much. So it's the 4th pick in my leg of the pick 4. 1, 11, 6, 3 and 4. Digby?
Yeah, I'm working around that, obviously, Wembanyama, Cavallo Red, snip of Gossip form line. So 6 on top from 3 Audio Boy. You'd like to think he's come on from that first up performance where he was good. 2 Cavallo Red and 11 Linchpin. He can most definitely win. I just want to see it in Saturday grade first, but he may well make a fool of me. 6, 3, 2 and 11.
11 for me, Linchpin, to remain undefeated. 4 Romantic Ruler. He won his Class 1, beat Decision Maker, and then he had a genuine excuse in that 66 plus. I actually thought he was really good. 6 Wembanyama, 2 Cavallo Red, 11, 4, 6, 2. But I think Linchpin is well above average, and this is nice placement.
Macca with 11, Linchpin 6, 3, 4. Diggers with 6. That's Wembanyama to beat 3, 2, 11. And repeat Scott 11, 4, 6, 2 in race 2. 1:15 for Key Clean, the handicap over the 2200 with 10 out. This is the first leg of the first quad. And Antique Stars into 390 from 460. Magic Whistle 12 into 750. Go to Lombardina, who is 6 into 550. Emerald Trader is 480 out to 650. Lyrical Angel 650 to 460. Kegs later. Open 9s now at $8.50 and upward for the others.
Yeah, it's one of those races, like many on the program, where you're going to get great value if you can find the winner, and our views might certainly be skewed from one another. Okay, Scotty, we'll let you go first. Cab here off the rank of the Key Clean handicap over 2,200 metres. Wide market as it looks on paper. Have you been able to come up with something there that we could maybe get our teeth into?
Not particularly, no. I'm going to go the soft way, and I'm going to go with Antique Star, the unknown being whether or not she'll stay, but she should get a lovely run close, handy to the speed. 56.5 after Amy Jo's claim. You'd imagine that Beats of War will come out positive and roll them along. He could actually be a big improver too. The only time this prep he's really settled has been for Zephyr, so potentially getting him back aboard could be a nice bonus for him here.
Might make it easier with Kerman Rock scratched out of the race as well.
For sure, but I think Antique Star will be in probably the first 4 or 5 in running, and from there, if she stays, I think she's got the runs on the board. 2 Antique Star, but without a push. 7 Lyrical Angel, placed at her last 4. She's getting very close now. They can ride her forward, they can ride her back. It doesn't matter to her. 3 Magic Whistle. He's one that they would probably ride forward today. Chanel Cooper takes off 3 kilos. He went back last start, didn't really suit him, never got a flow into it. Prior to that, he was just building into his prep. And 5 Lombardina tracks around him behind the speed. Travelled into it quite well last start at Belmont, then got caught a bit flat-footed when those horses with momentum were swooping down the outside and she had to dart back towards the inner. 2, 7, 3 and 5, but not a race that'll get me.
Okay, they have had something on Magic Whistle from $12 into $9.50. How did you see this tricky affair, Diggs?
Well, I think Magic Whistle's a beneficiary of the scratching of Kerman Rock, Darren, to be fair. I agree with Scott. Beats of War is in all likelihood will be in a prominent position, but I suspect Magic Whistle can, park at his flanks, and from there, as he builds into his campaign, we know that he's had success at Ascot. He's very much a good track horse, so he'll appreciate the ground today. I went that way, each way. 3 Magic Whistle from 2 Antique Star. Looks like she's going to get the world perfect run. 7 Lyrical Angel. Terrific effort last start. Ascot track record doesn't read well, but you'd like to think she's going well enough to amend that today. And 1 Candlelight Supper stepping up to the 2200 today, third up. 3, 2 2, 7 and 1.
Okay, Lyrical Angel there has had 4 goes here, but unplaced. 3 of the 4 unplaced runs were run over very unsuitable distances for her. So I think we could probably maybe give her an excuse here and there. She's a mare that's matured with age as well in racing, and she's in terrific form at the moment, so definitely deserves a victory. There's one horse that has caught my eye the last couple of starts. It's Ash Maley's Kegs Later, who's 2 for 2 here at 2,200, 4th run in the preparation. I said last time out, in the run-on in that race, when he finished 4th behind Hafey, there's a be on me next time run. He had red flag written all over him, and I reckon that this is about his turn. Now, 4th run in, as I say, 2 for 2 at Ascot over the journey, and that'll do me with Tash Faithful getting on board, and she's got a good record. It's each way, 8 Kegs Later in a race that's wide and as diverse in opinion, to beat 7 Lyrical Angel doing nothing wrong, 5 Lombardina, and I'll go for Antique Star. Goes to the 2,200 for the first time, but racing very well. 8, the value pick for me, Matty, from 7, 5 and 2 in the third.
So Scott is with 2, Antique Star, 7, 3 and 5. Digby with 3, Magic Whistle, 2, 7 and 1. And Mac is with 8 Kegs Later to beat 7, 5 and 2. I reckon we might have another time for one more race. What do you reckon, the fourth?
Why not? Let's do that, and then we might shoot on out to our good friends at Morley Mitsubishi. We'll get out there and see what Brad's got to tell us about a couple of specials today. He's been doing the form as well, but gee, they've got a big deal going on at the moment for our friends who are looking to upgrade and find themselves the tradies car, the Mitsubishi Triton as well, the Triton GLX, the 4x4 dual cab. Brad will have more about that and a tip for the races today as well. As we go to the market, race number 4 and 17 and 18 are out here. This makes it an interesting affair.
Go Grommet 15 into 12. We'll go to Costa Zito, who's at $11 after opening $7.50. 9 out to 13. Ukai's back to 12. 8.50 into 4.60. Kraken Time. $9 for Surfside Session. Go down to Mohegan Ruler, who's 9 into 5.50 and 10 into 8.50 for Cryptic Joy.
Yeah, this is a really difficult race, Diggs. Do you have a view on it? Well, first of all, pick off the market. 8 into 4.60 for Kraken Time, who I think most of us would agree in terms of ability is the best horse. Maybe. Best horse with the most amount of ability in the race, but he has got a few convictions.
A few?
Yeah, just a few. Mohegan Rule is another one that hasn't quite delivered the way we would have liked, but $9 into $5.50. I was at a function last night on a rare Friday where Willie Pike was in attendance there. He was out with a good friend and a colleague from Temper Beds as well. And we got Willie on stage there and we asked him what he thought some of his best rides for the day. I couldn't believe the glowing endorsement that he gave for Mohegan Ruler. I was a bit stunned. So, but the money is strong, 9 into 5.50.
There's more plugs than Michael Heaton's hair then. Cha-ching after cha-ching.
Well, they're
sponsoring
the show. Scott, that's what we have to do, buddy. You've got to look after the sponsors, bud.
What did you think of the trial then?
Not much. I did say to him at the time, I have to go back and review what I've done. And jockeys don't always get it right, but he was very bullish about Mohegan Ruler this morning. If he put his best foot forward and brought his mindset, he'd be very competitive.
It's a tough race. Capacity lineup of West Speed horses. Should have been a quaddie leg. Would have really blown it open.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to follow one. I thought the victory of Surfside Session, even though it was only a Class 1, it was over 1,000, I thought it was the win of a horse that could take that step to a West Speed Platinum. And I think you'll really appreciate the speed going on here between Ukai, Scorpion Ruler, Bar Time, Hit the Jackpot. I think they'll really run, and he can just park in beautifully in behind.
At least he's drawn a fairly good barrier by comparison to a number of other horses who might be liked in the race.
Well, Kraken Time, drawn 1. Is it going to help him or not? How would you know?
He's stepping a little bit better last couple of runs. I mean, he has had a notorious record, Diggs, for being slow out, ruining his chances. So barrier 1, where does he settle? Maybe at best midfield?
Oh, you couldn't confidently predict where he's going to settle. Respectfully, Kraken Time, he'll settle where he wants to settle,
He's going
not where
to need
we
a lot
envisage
to
he'll
go
settle.
right,
yeah,
isn't he? He
exactly.
really is.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if you go back, there is a run there, Scotty, you'd remember it really well, Perth Cup Day over 1,200 where he missed the start. It was a phenomenal performance. So you know that he's got the ability to do something almost semi-freakish.
Well, but how many times has he done that? I mean, his first 2 starts for Sharon Miller, he should have won both of them. He can find bad luck when it's there to be found. He just feels like another hard luck story.
Yeah, you know, he's had 3 runs here, placed twice, and each of the 3 runs he's missed the start at Ascot. So I'm just hopeful the time away here he has stopped thinking about it, whatever gets into his head, the quirks, and he puts his best foot forward. 8 into 460. He might have just got a point unders for me, but I'm left tipping him each way. 6 from number 3. I think Costa Zeta here, 7 days. It's the pharmacy campaign that he's on at the moment too. Drops back into a 58 plus. He's back on top of the ground. Hasn't been comfortable on rain-affected tracks. The market's a bit cool on him, but I think these tracks through the winter have conspired against Costa Zeta. He's better than his form might suggest, at the very least on paper. And Surfside Session, like Scotty there, I thought had to go somewhere into the mix as well. What else can we throw in there for you? Oh, well, Scorpion Ruler first up. What's your view there? Diggs resuming today, bar plates off, normally pretty good fresh.
Yeah, exactly. Tricky gate, no doubt about that. I've actually settled on one here we haven't mentioned, around $23, $24, and that is Invincible Ruby. Now, we haven't seen Invincible Ruby since the trial, 2 months ago now. Now, that was a trial that was taken out by Ain't So Bad. Also in that trial was B. Bardo. She went to the line not getting a lot of galloping room, was nosed out of second. Second on that occasion was With Discretion, Mississippi Dawn. She beat home B. Bardo. She can go fresh. She'll need some luck. Big field. Don't know how her fitness levels are, so it is a spec. Is she a wet tracker? Yes, but I don't mind wet trackers first up, before they, get that cumulative effect. So I'll go that way. 11, Invincible Ruby. On top from 7, Surfside Session, 3, Costa Zeta, and 12, Mohegan Ruler. But I will be having a little bit on the 11 here, Invincible Ruby, because I think her best is well and truly capable of taking out a race of this nature.
I'm not questioning anyone's view on races today. They're so wide, and she can pull out a big fresh run. Invincible Ruby. So she's a good value leg. You don't have to have a lot on to get a fair bit more back there. And I didn't really know what to do with Mohegan Ruler. I got more confused as the event went on last night. So 6, 3, 8 and 7 for race number 4. We're going to take a break on the other side of this, and Matt, we're going to go out to Morley Mitsubishi. That's what we're going to be doing next. Brad's going to be joining us in a couple of moments' time there. They've got some big specials, and he might have a tip or two to help us on opening day at Ascot.
And speaking of tips, Scott went with 7, Surfside Session from
8, 6 and 12.
8, 6 and 12. Diggers, you're with 11 to beat 7, 3 and 12. And Mac has gone 6, 3, 8 and 7.
You're listening to The Inside Running, brought to you by Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Okay, folks, yes, Morley Mitsubishi there. They've got their beautiful Mitsubishi Triton 4x2 driveaways now this Saturday for $33,990. The fabulous Triton GLX 4x4. That was Benny Boy's old tradesman car there. It never, ever missed a beat there. The dual cab for $45,990. Get peace of mind with a 10-year cap car servicing, 10-year warranty. Conditions apply. But hurry, these offers will not last for long. So let's go out there and we'll catch up with our good mate Brad Short. Shorty, good morning to you. It's all happening out there with you at Morley Mitsubishi.
G'day, Macca. G'day, boys. How are you all?
We're great in here, mate. We're excited. We're big Kev at the moment because we're heading back to Ascot.
I can't wait to get out to the track this afternoon and have a couple of frothies and try and back a few winners.
All right. Well, I've just mentioned a couple of absolute lay-down mazziers, the Mitsubishi Triton 4x2 and also the Triton GLX 4x4, the tradies car, it is said.
Well, the Triton 4x4 dual cab, Darren, don't forget, at $45,990 has a 3.5-tonne towing capacity with the 10-year warranty and 10-year cap price servicing. Great for towing the float for all the racing fraternity.
Absolutely. So get on down there to Morley Mitsubishi. Where can we find you in downtown Morley?
We're at 212 Walter Road, Morley, and we're here till 1 o'clock today, Darren.
All right then. Now, can you leave us with something at Ascot today? You like a tip?
I'll give you a couple.
Go on.
I'll give you a couple. Twisted Steel in the 8th is my best bet for the day.
Twisted Steel.
Just get on.
Yeah.
And in the last, a little something each way, our mate Archie.
our mate Archie going around there in the last of the day. Did I see that there was some money for our mate Archie that had come? Just looking through the program, our mate Archie. No, I'm thinking of another
About
horse.
25 to 1.
25 to 1, a little bit of overs there. A bit of fruit for the sideboard for you and the boys down there at Morley Mitsubishi.
That's it, mate. I'll see you at the track, boys.
Can't wait for it. Thanks to, indeed, Brad Short. He has loaded up and said Twisted Steel from the team down there at Morley Mitsubishi this morning. And make sure you try out there and have a look at some of the great bargains going on in the Skipper, the Mitsubishi range there with their Tritons that they have, the 4x2 and the 4x4s as well. Okay, we'll take a break and be back with more right after this.
You're listening to Inside Running, brought to you by Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
22 minutes away from 9 o'clock. We're negotiating a bit of rough off-road terrain at the moment, though. We are at race 5, the Mrs. Max handicap. It's over 1,000 metres. A field of 10, and it's a good field as well, too. We like the look of this clash between KTY and All Play in particular. Let's look what the Tab Touch market's doing.
All Plays at 3.30 in from 4.20 down to KTY, who's at 2.35, opened at $3 and 12 into 9.50 Cessation, and 11 and upwards the others.
Scotty Embry, do you have this as a two-horse war?
I do. I most certainly do. Mac, I would be surprised if it wasn't either All Play or KTY. I think if you were playing an early quaddie, that's the way you'd be looking at this race as well.
Okay. Diggs, what did you think of All Play's trial? I personally thought it was one of quality.
Loved it. Good to see him back. He's a really, really good horse. We had a great chat to Trevor on Thursday morning, and he indicated if this horse can remain sound, he'll try to get him to a Winterbottom Stakes. So that's a really good push for a horse who's going around in a ratings race today. In saying that, I think everyone is well aware of the opinion that Adam Durant has of KTY, who is, like All Play, a proven 1,000-metre horse and gets here, you would think, nice and fresh, having gone to the races first up on the 20th of September and made an absolute mess of them, it must be said, as $1.60 pop.
That he did, underlined his quality as a really talented 4-year-old in this particular race. However, I am going to have a good long hard look at All Play here, who went to the paddock, probably with a little injury there, which precluded him from being able to get the job done, but it was behind Taropa. It was a very good field. He's come back, and equally so in a very, very good trial field. He led comfortably. I thought he was terrific when you consider the Talk and Co ran second, and Super Smink, no less, had run third. It was a quality lineup there, and All Play did it with a bit in reserve. I think he's set for a big campaign.
Does he box seat today?
I would think so. Ginnivan finds the top, doesn't he?
And or Cessation, let them both go.
Yeah.
And then just present, you sort of half cart him behind them.
Yep.
Do I feel lucky he'll jump and be there?
I think the most important, exactly right. I think the most important part in terms of this map is that All Play will have a tactical advantage on KTY. So KTY is going to have to settle off the pace and run All Play down in the home straight.
Okay, and he is capable of doing that too, as we've seen, because he's got one of those really unique turns of acceleration. He can burn and he can peel off some highly impressive numbers and seems to be doing it effortlessly. However, I think because of that map, where he's drawn the lovely trial, we know that he's got ability, having won 5 of 11 from Barrier 2. I'm prepared to go with the 3 first up and defeat KTY. 3, 6, 10. Where you go beyond that, though, Diggs, third leg of your trifecta.
I went 6 KTY from 3 All Play. I had Cessation in. I just thought this mare, off the back of a nice trial, albeit it was sort of 5 or 6 weeks ago, could park just behind this hot 1,000-metre tempo and perhaps play a part. And I do have 10, Do I Feel Lucky? Clint Johnston Porter electing to ride here. 6, 3, 8 and 10. Good race.
Yeah, having his first look at the races as a 3-year-old, the Magic Millions winner from last season, and he again comes out of a good trial there and led, ran second to Snow Dome. You had Bustler, Yes Queen in the trial there, so no shortage of talent.
3 for me, All Play. It's just the better price, better map from 6 KTY. Wouldn't fall over stunned if he ran them down. I think he's a really nice sprinter of the future. 10, Do I Feel Lucky, 54 kilos, takes on the older horses, bounces and puts himself in a spot. And 2, the old boy, goes 2 walks, gets 5.5 kilos on KTY, was beaten 3 lengths quite comfortably last start, but gee, there looks like there's one more win in him before retirement. 3, 6, 10, 2.
He's a nice lower leg of your exotics, I would have thought, too. Goes 2 walks. I'm going in a great clash with 3 all play, but won't be surprised to see KTY get over the top there with his richness of ability. Number 10, Do I Feel Lucky, and 2 goes 2 walks, exactly like you there, Scotty. So 3, 6, 10 and 2 there to the 5th, the Mrs. Max.
So Diggers has gone 6, KTY 3, 8, 10, and then copy and paste for Scott and Mac with 3, 6, 10 and 2. In race number 6 at 10 after 3, Pinnacles Carnival Noms Close, 13th October, handicap 1400, they all start. And at the top, Hymns of Eladair's at $7, out of point, down to Ashfeld, who's 9 into 6, and down to Great Emotion, 550 into 380. Sweet Tea opened 8, got to 10, and is now back to 9, up with the rest.
Okay, Diggs, very wide clash. This extremely open betting, tough race, but there is a bit of a lead here late over the last 24 hours, and that is for Asphalt, the horse with a very good winning record, $9 into 5. But has never drawn this type of gate so far in 6 starts.
I found him a really hard horse to assess here, Scott. We know what he was able to do in the winter on those really saturated tracks, and that was in Westbead Platinum Company. Now he comes here with a tricky gate on top of the ground in Graduation Company.
That's the difficulty for me. I think until proven otherwise, I might just look at him as a wet tracker. And if he comes out today and wins on a good 4, then he's just a good horse. But I think today, especially getting down to $5, he was a nice, straightforward one for me to tip around and bet around.
I think that he's one of those horses, look on, assess, and then will no doubt continue to follow his path going forward subsequently. Look, he'd made rapid progression last campaign, but he hasn't had a barrier trial. It is 1400. I think there's enough against him, although the money is very strong. Tough race for me, no doubt for you as well. Look, I'm going to land on Hymns of Eladair again. Lovely draw. An in-form Lucy Fiore, teaming up with an equally in-form Adam Durant. Thought it was a good run under the circumstances to get the job done at its first run back. So I'm happy to go that way, and whichever way you go, you're going to get value, Scott.
6 for me. I'm going to go a horse that's double figures. He's hard to catch, yes, Centre Bond, but we're getting a price about him today. He won that Class 3. There's been reasonable form out of it. And then I thought he closed off nicely behind a very good mare in B. Bardo. She's better than Graduation Company. If there's a 3-deep line, which I think there is, that can just tow him into the race, and that's the sort of run that he needs. 6 each way Centre Bond, 11 Great Emotion, understand why she's favourite, expect she's going to be popular. She was very luckless last start behind Split the G, tracked up in behind them like she was ready to explode and just had no room to move. 1 Hymns of Eladair, great trial, good win first up, absolutely no knock. And then 4 Asphalt, just going to watch him go round today. First time at this level, first time without a trial, first time good tracks. There's a few unknowns for me. 6, 11, 1, 4.
I think there's a few here that might really put their best foot forward, getting back on top of the ground. Diggs, I mean, you could make a case. Speak to me, we saw that last start. He was just absolutely hopeless on those heavier tracks, and then went down to Bunbury and he just levitated, bang, got the job done brilliantly. And Blazing Emerald, it hasn't done all that much on paper, but it's an absolute duffer. It gets back on top of firmer ground.
Yeah,
better than its form would suggest.
I've actually got Speak to Me on top here, $21. He was ridden ugly the other day, and he was able to beat Climb on Top, who has since won a fast run, Zero Metro win race at Belmont over the 1400 metres. He'll get a lovely passage here. We've seen him at Ascot previously. Has he won? No, but he's run some good races in better company than this. So $21 about Speak to Me, that will do me. 3 on top from 11, Great Emotion, clearly the one who's going to be very, very popular. Desperately unlucky last start and still was good once Great Emotion was able to pick up the feet and go again. I thought she did a pretty good job, all things considered. 6 Centre Bond and 1 Hymns of Eladair. 3 each way, 11, 6 and 1.
I'll be each way. Hymns of Eladair, 1 to beat, 6 Centre Bond, 3 Speak to Me like you there, Diggs. And I'm going to include Blazing Emerald. No star, but does go well here. much better on top of the ground, of course, and thought there was a little bit of an excuse last time around, second up, coming off a month between runs. Was at odds that day. It's half of that at the moment too, and there is an expectation the firmer tracks are going to suit. We'll see. 1, 6, 3 and 2, and we've mentioned quite a few others there in the mix in race 6, Matt.
Set a bond for Scott, number 6, 11, 1 and 4. Diggers with 3 each way. Speak to me, 11, 6, 1. And Darren has won Hymns of Aladare to beat 6, 3 and 2.
Okay, let's press on here. We've got a wide race, the A1 Engineering Handicap. And at a glance there, Matty, it looked as though it might have been about $7 the field.
Pretty much here on quick glance. $7 for Max Verstappen is in from $8.50. Go to Rockin' Wonder, who's 9 out to 10. Romeo's at 10 after opening at $6.50 and hitting 12. $2.65 in from $8.50. Old Mate Henry heading the market. And throw in Mississippi Dawn, who's 8 out to 12, up with the others.
We've had a good old look at the ice cream here, Digby. Old Mate Henry, $8.50 into $2.70. After getting out of his maiden last start, he did the job well. What did he beat? I'm not sure. This is tougher.
He's short now, Scott.
Very. He's way under.
Darren, I can't get him anywhere near that price, and I
can't quite get him in my top 4. I like him in the right class.
Well, he might go there today. It's Pike, drawn low, he might be able to zap them. He won well the other day, but not for me.
I'm not even sure drawn low really suits him.
It's a very aggressive placement.
Yeah. Okay, so he won by 4 3/4, beat Midnight Express.
Yep.
3rd, Macho Quiro.
Yep.
4th, Harris Road.
Yep.
5th, Neep Tide.
Yeah, they're struggling.
Yeah, not for me.
They're struggling.
Harris Road went around Wednesday, got beaten 3 behind Miss Verve. So did Macho Aquiro.
Yep.
Ran 7th, beaten 3. Yeah, it's...
Okay, well, if they know something we don't, good luck to them for if they've taken $8.50 and they can collect. There is a horse here who I have followed in a couple of runs. Very capable of winning on his day. Last win here, in fact, was at 1,800 in this class. He led them. And he led them throughout, and Longines went around in that race and was well beaten. I'm referring to Romeo. Now, Romeo didn't see a lot of daylight last start. Scotty, still held up.
No, he saw a lot of stewards report.
I think with even luck today, Romeo's the kind of horse that in a very wide race at $6, $7 could potentially win this race.
Or hit refresh on that market that
What
you've written
market
down,
is it
old
now,
Cobb.
mate?
Double it.
$12. That's even better. There you go. Out to $12. Double figures Romeo for me. I've gone that way. I think that he's been a bit stiff there. Cliffy Green's horse is running into a little bit of form in recent times. I'm going that way. What's the likely leader there? Rockin' Wonder, Diggs?
Rockin' Wonder, and I thought Max Verstappen would come out and sit outside Rockin' Wonder.
Yeah.
And I think Max Verstappen is an excellent play here because Brad rode him the other day, and I think with the benefit of that experience now, I'd expect Brad will sort of roll him into the corner and get him going because he doesn't accelerate, but he gets to his top and then he just grinds away at that. So I reckon Brad, having had his first ride aboard him, will now know that you just start to crank him up, and once he turns for home, I expect he'll be in front, and I think he's the one that they'll have to run down here, Scott.
It was one of those ones where Stormageddon almost put 3/4 of a length on him at the 200, and then the margin on the line was still 3/4.
I love the way that he just hung in there and he kept on coming back. He didn't lie down. He didn't shirk things.
I'm making him the best of the day, Max Verstappen.
Right.
So he goes on top clearly. From 7, Romeo, desperately unlucky last start. 4, Pharaoh Show. Great use of the claim, gets every conceivable from that gate. And 11, Old Mate Henry. Look, Pike can get you. We know that. But this is a quantum leap from that maiden, and it was a pretty modest maiden, it must be said, that he won. But he did win well. 1 with an asterisk, 7, 4 and 11.
He did, but if you're looking at it from a punting perspective there, he's way under the odds by comparison to what he met there, what he's going to run into today. There's a horse here, Rockin' Wonder, which should lead 1,800 metres here. There was a Class 1 race. Scotty, again, you'll remember this, he burnt. He ran 1:49 here at 1,800 in a 66 plus. Now, he faded to run 6th, but he was only beaten 2.5 lengths to Royal Toronado. And I reckon that if he could get to the front here, back at Ascot, on top of the ground, importantly, that's the key, clearly, to this horse. At double figures, he'll give you a great sight. So I'm going to include him. I'm putting in Maxi Wustappen down in class, and I'm putting Fero Show in for the pick 4, 7, 5, 1 and 4 there. But that's a really wide race, and we're getting $12 my on-top pick, Romeo.
Same for me. 7 each way, Romeo. 11, Old Mate Henry. And my computer loves this horse, so probably no surprise to see money come, but just you have to put some logic in there from times. I just can't have him out of that maiden, that really weak maiden. 1, Max Wustappen, and 5, Rockin' Wonder. 7, 11, 1, 5.
Rightio, so Mac is with 7, and that's Romeo, 5, 1, 4. A little asterisk for Diggers with number 1, Max Wustappen, to beat 7, 4, 11, and Scott is 7, 11, 1 and 5. We'll take a little breaky woo and come back with a breaky woo. I'm just making it up as I go.
That's breaky woo.
It's a technical term in radio. 7 minutes to 9.
TAB Radio, the home of racing and sports.
You're listening to the Inside Running, brought to you by Morley Mitsubishi. Drive away the Triton GLX 4x4 dual cab for $45,990 today. Go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.
Thanks for joining us this Saturday morning, and it's glorious outdoors here. Day one back at Ascot. Of course, the feature will be the Unite Resourcing Max Simmonds Stakes, one of the all-time great guys of racing, and fabulous here that we continue to recognise his memory each year on opening day at Ascot there. The voice of Ascot, Belmont Park, the voice of racing, of course, for decades and decades too. Look, another great guy in racing is one of our work colleagues and a terrific mate, Giulio Santarelli, as we know, hasn't been feeling all the best of late. He has had some health issues. Sitting back, listening in there this morning, we understand that he's out of hospital right at the very moment, Diggs, but a big shout out from the team here because he's one of our all-time favourite workmates and does a great job too, doesn't he, behind the scenes?
Yes, he does. Spoke to Jules during the week, and he's back home resting and recovering. So, he's on the road to recovery, which is terrific.
Get well, brother. We'll be looking forward to seeing you very, very soon, hopefully, and out there at Ascot once again. Let's go to the market for the Maxi Simmonds Stakes, 1,000 metres. Terrific lineup here. And from Tab Touch, what have you got there for us, Matt?
Starting with Talk & Co, who opened 360, out of point back to 440 now. Twisted Steel 360 into 240. Down to Yes Queen 5 out to 7. And down to Schnitzel Latte, who opened at 750 out to 850. Has halved that, now at $8.
The 2-year-old of the year, Talk & Co, returns for Dan and Ben Pearce, the horse who got tongues wagging through the winter. Unbeaten Twisted Steel, a horse who carries an enormous regard from the Simon Miller stable. Back in action, Yes Queen, the star filly who ran a mighty fourth in the Karrakatta Plate, placed in a gym crack. She's back as well. And then Schnitzel Latte, who produced the best run in defeat in the Karrakatta Plate. She's also returning back after stepping out for that one run in that 3-year-old plate to Playing It Sweet. So she goes here with the benefit of a run under her belt. Gee, it's a good race, isn't it? They're making it a good race, this event for the 3-year-olds to open up the Ascot season, Scotty.
And, of course, last year was a blowout. Chirino got the better of West Star, paid 50 to 1. So even if you're not quite in the market that we've read out there, you're probably going with a bit of hope. And it's the best part about this race at this time of year is there's so many clashing form lines. You've got fillies like Yes Queen, Luanamis, Talk & Co, who have gone head-to-head before, but they've never seen a Twisted Steel. They've never seen a Rostoslav. Quite a lot of them here today, programming being what it is, the majority of them are going to be first up. So there's a lot to work through, but gee, Twisted Steel didn't beat much in terms of opposition across winter, but he did it with such ease. He did it with such mountains of money that came for him, and to the clock, he just annihilated it on both occasions.
Yes, he did, and he's a big, imposing type of a horse, and I think once the penny does finally drop with this horse, he can scale some pretty significant heights, but he gets every opportunity from that gate today off the back of a trial, which was good. He did it at both ends. He beat a handy enough horse in the Calabrese, it must be said, who trialled particularly well, but they broke him in at 59.77. He'll be all over the speed. You'd expect King's Court to lead?
Yeah, I think let him go.
Yep.
Stalk him.
Yep, I agree. And if that's the case, it's going to be advantage Twisted Steel, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those tricky ones too, and you wonder just how fit they're going to be going into it. Have they got them screwed right down, or are they just managing them in the early part of their preparations to get to the bigger races further on, deeper into this spring? So you take that into consideration as well. Probably the reason why I defaulted back to Schnitzel Latte. There's 1, 2 of 5, only ever missed a placing once. That was in the size. She ran favourite there, and she was beaten less than a length behind Just To Fly, one of only 2 horses nominated for the 2-year-old of the year award. She was put into the paddock. She hadn't had a trial before. She was given a bit of a pipe opener behind Planet Sweet, who's a nice type as well. And while she was beaten there that day, I still didn't mind what we saw. Now, she's at $8.50. She's second up off 21 days. I go back to that Karrakatta Plate run from 11. It was a monster right off the track, and it was the best run of any horse in defeat.
I've just got it in the back of my mind, though, it was 1,200.
Yep.
Her 1,000-metre win was at Ascot. It was a cutaway day, field of 6, and she cut the corners. I just have it in the back of my mind that she doesn't have the zip.
Well, she's going to get a lovely run.
She's going to get a lovely run.
The speed's going to look after itself in front. She's going to be parked right behind them. She conceivably can finish up 1-1.
On the back of
And if she's
Twisted
rolling
Steel.
off that camber and she can finish off, and we know that she'll keep on coming, I just think maybe an each-way odds. So I played the 10. It's a value pick there for me at $8.50 over 1 Talk & Co. I like the trial. We'll get that reference through all play. She couldn't have done any more as a 2-year-old, of course. She is the crowning 2-year-old of the year. Twisted Steel, for everything that you've said in regards to his ability there. He hasn't beaten much, but he has beaten them up, and he's beaten them up mercifully. And I'm going to go, yes, Queen. I like the trial there. She went back. She hit the line very well behind Snow Dome and Co. And we know that she is a talented horse. I couldn't quite buy into Luana Miss. Plenty want to try and tug my coat to say otherwise, but not from out there.
Agree. 3, 5, 1, 6, 3 Twisted Steel, 360 to 240, and I think he'll jump shorter, which does seem crazy, but when the market has those time figures behind them, they're not afraid to keep coming in waves. 3 Twisted Steel, 5 Yes Queen. I love both of the trials. 1 Talk & Co. and 6 Luana Miss. 3, 5, 1, 6.
3, 10, 1, 5 for me. Twisted Steel on top.
Okay. Short and succinct there for Diggs. Twisted Steel to get the job done in the Maxi Simmonds Stakes.
And it is the tip from Scott as well. 3, 5, 1, 6. Diggers 3, 10, 1 and 5 repeating. Darren Doe's gone 10. Stitzelate 1, 3 and 5. In the 9th of 10 with just 11 minutes to Caulfield, 2 punters. Race number 9 this afternoon, 8 after 5, the Swan Draft over 1,400 with 8 out. 12 into $9 here, Captain Pluto. 6 out to $9.50, Fast Flicker. Opportunistic is 5 into $2.70 and go down the bottom to First Encounter, 5 into $3.10.
Okay, so Michael Grantham's got a very strong hand here. Digby Opportunistic, 5 into $2.65, and it comes out of that trial to Twain's Angel. Went there with wins in the rack and two of the Belmont Guineas. That's the 4-year-old. First Encounter, the older horse here from the same yard, 4 into $3.70. Best form probably on overall assessment has been on softer ground. Did win the trial, beating Rocking Society, lapped it. They did walk and sprinted, drew away. Not quite sure what I made of that trial, to be honest. And then you've got a horse who can produce a blinder first up, and that's Captain Pluto, who holds up at each way odds. He's got a dynamite fresh card.
Yeah, he has. Opportunistic. We saw what he was able to do in the winter, and the trial I thought was okay. But then you look at his figures with what he produced in the winter, particularly in the Belmont Guineas, and you go, wow. Yep, okay. I see why he is a spruik animal, because they're remarkably good numbers.
And when watching that trial too, don't forget that the trial leading into his debut at Pinjarra saw him go up $10. So when he was beaten that day, 3/4 by New Hymn Sheet, who's still a maiden.
Yeah.
So trials, races are races. That was $9.50. This is $1,400.
Trial with the blinkers on as well. Gets them here first up. Hard to beat. Barrier might be a little bit of a problem.
Looks like a swoopers affair to me, though.
Does that help Captain Pluto?
Oh, for sure. I think he's a big player.
Yeah.
I think the 3 main fancies, or even if you just put them in market order, Opportunistic, First Encounter, Captain Pluto, they're likely to settle almost the final trio in running and then make their runs together. That's why, to me, it looks a swoopers affair. The speed, Bruce Almighty, Benji's, They're Red Sun Sensation. They're big priced animals.
Now, I know it's not Pike on Captain Pluto. It's claiming apprentice Chanel Cooper. I'm going to roll the dice here. Hopefully they go along at a good gallop. Investment strategy's taken a little bit of the speed out of the race, I suppose. But Captain Pluto, fresh, is dynamite. And he didn't have any any blinkers on in the trial recently. He dropped out. He's very, very wide. He was beaten 4.5 to the Group 1 star Western Empire, and he was returning since his fourth in the Pinjarra Cup and having won a Bunbury Cup before then. Maybe get him fresh. I like these stars fresh 1400. I'm going with one each way from 9 Opportunistic. Clearly a very talented 4-year-old. His stablemate First Encounter is going to be there, albeit from an awkward gate. The other one I'm going to throw in is Rush Into the Bar out of the Hannons last week. He didn't get too many favours, but he does go well here. He was right back. He was wide on the home corner. I thought it was a fair enough run. He might be worthy of including back at Ascot, where he seems to go well. 1, 9, 13 and 6.
9 for me, Opportunistic. 13, First Encounter. 1, Captain Pluto, so all the same numbers. And 4, I'll include out of the Hannons Fast Flicker. She's better than that. I know she was 3 deep the trip, but she was the first horse beat. Back here to Ascot. Hopefully that's what she's looking for. 9, 13, 1, 4.
Yeah, I actually went her way, Scott. Fast Flickered, back at Ascot. I think she's a beneficiary of investment strategy coming out in a race where there doesn't appear to be a great deal of tempo. I think that Stephen can be quite proactive here and have her all over the speed. She's got a couple of runs under the belt. I think she's ready to run you a race. Disregard the Kalgoorlie run when she was given a squeeze wide on top of the speed and she just blew out. So different scenario, different map here today. So 4 on top, Fast Flicker. From 9, Opportunistic. Great to see him back at the races. Very exciting horse. 6, Rush Into the Bar. I concur, Darren. I thought the effort in the Hannons was good and an on-speed dominated day. Break 33.5. So maybe he's building towards peak fitness. And 1, Captain Pluto. We know what he's capable of doing first up. 4, 9, 6 and 1.
9 is the tip from Scott. That's Opportunistic. 13, 1 and 4. Repeating diggers there. 4, 9, 6, 1. Darren's gone 1. Captain Pluto from 9, 13 and 6. Caulfield in 7 minutes now. The last today locally at 5:47. Reliable Asset Maintenance Handicap over 1200. And they're all starting. And Son of the Boss, 14 into 9. Elite 1 is 8 out to 9, back to 8. Dealer in, 10 into 750. Go down to Exceed the Planet, who's in half a point to 650. Then down to 6 Inch Heels, 950 into 8. Medusa is 5 out to 6. And Plain It Sweet, 6 into $4.80.
Okay, we get to race 10. And Scotty, it didn't seem to get any easier, where some of the main hopes, at least those on paper, have drawn the river.
Looks a nice big 3 deep moving line again, which is good to see. Ascot going on what it was last year on opening day. The 66 plus 12 is where we unearthed Cosmic Crusader.
Yep.
This race last year. They were making ground opening day last year. Fingers crossed they make ground again today. And if that's the case, I think the filly Playing It Sweet. Mac, if you think Snitzer Latte can win the Max Simmonds, then Playing It Sweet at 1200 on the 54 kilo limit has to be hard to beat in a 66 plus.
Extremely, yeah. She's rated really highly with me in the last for the day. Look, I settled on Exceed the Planet, who caught our eye a number of times, quite frankly. Had a trial there, didn't have any blinkers on to Lord Shiva. I tell you what, King of Light, the unbeaten horse, was in that. That's a quality trial that it went around in. And we see it back today there. A horse who ran 3rd in the Belgravia, 2nd to West Star, September born in a race there. Look, I think he's got a tremendous level of untapped ability, Exceed the Planet. And when everything does fall into place, Sue Oliver's going to have herself a very nice 4-year-old. I'm going to go with him. He's again each way. 2 Son of the Boss on top of the grounds to go. Gate number 1 to try and repeat what he was able to achieve last start. 15, definitely Playing It Sweet. It was the wide barrier here that just concerned me to a degree. But if Snitzer Latte runs to what I think she's capable of earlier in the Maxi Simmonds, Playing It Sweet did finish off nicely at its first run. And 14 Medusa, the 3-year-old, no gear on in the recent trials there, but I'd be happy to have a look at her also, the 3-year-old. Or him at least. 7, 2, 15 and 14, Diggs.
7, I'm with you. Exceed the Planet. Love the trial. Quiet has come on since then, expecting he can be in that 3 deep line, and I think a lot of these are going to be making their runs together, so it's going to be an interesting call for you over the final furlong today, I would have thought, Darren. 15, Playing It Sweet. Great return. 54 limit, has to be in the mix. 14 Mardusa fresh, and 4 Deal Her In, expecting her to strip a bit fitter from that first up run over the 1200. 7, 15, 14 and 4.
On top for me in the last, playing it sweet, the filly to make it 4 consecutive victories. 15, 14, Mardusa, trial without shades on race day. 7, Exceed the Planet, love the horse. And 3, Elite One, who's gone to a new level. 15, 14, 7 and 3.
So Macca's gone Exceed the Planet number 7 to 15 and 14 to the final event. Digby also with 7, then 15, 14, 4. And Scott's ending the day with Playing It Sweet number 15 to beat 14, 7 and 3.
10 races today. The majority certainly provide a lot of value. Scotty, have you been able to define a best?
I'm going to be Playing It Sweet in the last. Race 10, number 15, the filly.
Okay, Playing It Sweet there. Be patient though. You've got a long day ahead to get there. Diggs, your best?
Race 7, number 1, Max Simmonds. $7 currently with Tab Touch.
I'm going to stay with the horse who I think can go to another level, and particularly in the autumn. I think he might have a bit of stayer about him, and that's Lynchpin, race 2, number 11. I think that he can continue to transition into better company. What's the lay for the day, Diggs?
Race 7, number 11, Old Mate Henry.
Yeah, that's got very short, Old Mate Henry. Probably join in with you there now at that price. I didn't see him anywhere near that quote.
And I will hang off the tail of race 4, number 6, Kraken Time.
Kraken Time there for you. If I can throw one other, and this is with enormous trepidation, race 8, number 3, Twisted Steel. Bite my tongue. Now, the play for the day, there's got to be something there, and it probably all evolves around a bit of value.
Well, I'm all in with Max Verstappen. So each way, Max Verstappen, race 7, number 1, in 2, race 10, number 7, Exceed the Planet, also each way.
Scotty?
Race 2, number 11, Lynchpin, all up. Race 8, number 3, Twisted Steel, $7 the double.
All right, I'm going with an all-up place. Multi today. Race 3, number 8, Kegs Later, $2.50 or around there. Race 4, number 6, Kraken Time, $2.40 or around there. Race 7, number 7, Romeo, $3.25 into race 8, number 10, Snitzolado at $2.30. Race 9, number 1, Captain Pluto, $3, gives you $135. That might do. If they can all just run a place, that's all they have to do on a day which offers a lot of value out there at Ascot. Diggs, thank you indeed.
Thank you.
Good luck
See you
with
out
your
there.
thoughts today.
Yep.
We will see you there this time around here.
Yes.
You'll be the first one through the gates.
Correct.
And Scotty, we'll catch you down there nice and early to the opening of the new female jockeys room facilities there with the Minister for Racing and Gaming, and of course a minute's silence there, a moment of reflection for our dear friend Lindsay Severn. That'll be happening in the Bookies Ring from 11:30. An early start. We've got to get out of here to get racing at Ascot. We look forward to seeing you all down there. Don't forget too, the gates open now with a late finish at 10 o'clock, not the usual 9 o'clock opening gates time at Ascot there, with the late conclusion to the meeting today and right through the spring and the summer. Thanks indeed to our friends as well from Morley Mitsubishi for being on board. Looking forward to having them with us right through the course of the spring, and also to Matty McDermott as well. We wish you all the very best of luck on the punt.
Light infantryman's in front, and he'll cling on to win the Northerly.
Inside Running was brought to you by Morley Mitsubishi. For the best deals on the Mitsubishi Triton 4x2 or GLX 4x4 dual cab, go to Morley Mitsubishi, 212 Walter Road, Morley, or morleymitsubishi.com.au.